I don't remember much of my school days, but then again, some things are better left forgotten, especially middle school. Wait, it took us this long for the Friends Forever series to pair up Rainbow Dash and Fluttershy? Hmm, you'd think they'd be one of the first pairings they'd go with. In any case, it's here now, so let's jump right into it. Rainbow Dash and Fluttershy get invited to a reunion party at flight camp, but Flutters isn't too keen on reuniting with the same ponies that picked on her back then, so she's less than enthusiastic about it. So what's good? Well, first off, I'm glad that this story didn't take the panda bait. It could have easily gone, hey, we're going to Cloudsdale, so let's throw a bunch of references to popular Pegasus characters and throw the story by the wayside. But thankfully, it didn't do that. I mean, we do see Spitfire, but she at least serves some purpose to the story. They made a good choice here by focusing on the matter at hand, and we're introduced to a new character named Cirrus Cloud, who plays her role really well. Now, at first I wasn't too thrilled by Dash's absence during most of the reunion, as the series normally has both of the featured characters play a prominent role, and they would both walk away having learned one thing or another. But at the end of the comic, I realized that there was a point to Dash not being around. She got caught up in all the fanfare that the other ponies were giving her, and she ended up forgetting about Fluttershy. But once she realizes her mistake, she helps Flutters get over her fear. Speaking of fears, I think this comic serves as a great companion piece to Hurricane Fluttershy. It's one thing to get over your insecurities, but it's a whole other thing entirely to return to the place where those insecurities originated, and I feel this is something that a lot of people can relate to. Plus, it also shows that just because some people were mean to you as a kid, that doesn't mean that they can't change, and it won't hurt to give them the benefit of the doubt. Of course, there are a select few that never change no matter how many years go by, but still, the point stands. If a douche like Buck Withers can change, then so can that one guy that stole your lunch money. So what's not so good? Well, again, Jay Fosgit's art style is just really jarring to me. While his backgrounds are great, I'm not the biggest fan of the style he applies when drawing the characters, but that's mainly a personal thing. This next bit, however, is something that not only affects this comic, but several comics over the past 2 months or so, and that's the editing. Lately, there have been instances where names have been misspelled or characters have been called the wrong name, and no, I'm not talking about Cadence. The spelling of her name has been inconsistent in the show and the comics since her introduction. I'm talking about instances like Cheerilee's name being misspelled in Friends Forever 16, or Filthy Rich being called Stinkin' Rich several times in the Ponyville Days arc, or in the case of this issue, Philadelphia being misspelled. Now, if this was something that happened only once in a while, this wouldn't be much of an issue for me, and I would have let it slide. Mistakes happen after all. However, when said mistakes happen consistently, it becomes somewhat of a problem, and more readers are going to pick up on it if it keeps going on. People give the comics enough unwarranted hate as it is, IDW. Don't give them a reason to talk smack. Overall, though, this was another solid issue, with a great lesson for both kids and adults. Next month, Rarity gets paired up with the Cakes. Well, as long as she's not babysitting, I'm sure things will be fine. And a shout out to the following Patreon supporters. Well, support her. So what did you think of Friends Forever 18? Let me know in the comments below or hit me up on Tumblr. And consider supporting me on Patreon or commissioning me for art via PayPal. Until next time, keep it sketchy folks.